So sometimes they sound amazing, but most of the time they're a bit.
Yeah.
Which is why it would make an amazing mix room, like just dedicated mix room. It's not like you haven't got the outboard to go with it either.
Yeah, man. So
you've got spares for everything. Oh, also a really big bonus is you've got the channel tester. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so this is quite a big deal because these are really rare, and they basically never really sold them. I think I was told.
Oh, is that unit right there?
Yeah. So you can find out. You basically plumb it into whatever, and it will tell you exactly what's the issue is with your desk. That's where the money is.
Gotcha. That's helpful.
Really helpful. There's also are you recording? Because I can.
Yeah. Actually.
So basically, there's he gave me the ribbons that you can bypass the VCAs. So, for instance, if you wanted just to abandon the computer, not worry about it, just go and hardwire it. I've got the ribbons that go. I think they're around the back there somewhere.
Okay.
And it bypasses all the VCAs, so you can use this as a giant summing mixer if you want.
Gotcha.
Just run your stuff with Pro Tools. There's also there's an alternative monitor selector, which is that thing up there that they threw in.
That thing up there, okay.
So basically, you've got 3 monitors rather than the standard 2 that came with this. What else is there? It's different. There's a few things he's told me. I can't remember. I mean, the thing is about these things. I went there with we literally took the building apart to get some of the stuff out. I mean, I wasn't leaving without it because it was like because this stuff. I mean, the guy. You see the actual wiring, and this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
So I've got this big darkness flight case. It's about this big.
Yeah.
That when it goes to whoever it goes to, I'm going to dump all of the stuff in there, so that you haven't got stuff everywhere. So you just actually literally.
Gotcha.
But there's spare patch bays and stuff as well.
Wonderful.
Why would you want any more than that? But there's enough 48 channel patch bay, which goes onto the back of that. There's a DL on the back of that. If you look at this, actually, this is probably good to mark. So they're all marked DL12. All the DLs are labelled. So when you set it up, you literally just follow the DLs, and it should make sense because it's not. Although it looks like a lot of cabling, some of it is redundant now.
Okay.
Some of it was like they look like VCR video kind of setups.
Yeah.
Which you don't need, and there's enough tie lines for 2 rooms of 48 inputs. Right?
Gotcha. Yeah.
So you got to they had everything going to one live room, and then they had absolutely everything going to another. So so they've doubled down on it. What else is there about it? I'm just trying to think. All the power supplies work and they're well maintained if you were going to use them, or if you were just going to sell them on, because they still sell for about £500 for people want them for spares that go in and repair the ones that are left.
That's what we did with ours. We sold ours and then used that to help fund the Atomic. And how about the discs? Do you have the discs for the?
I think they're all in.
They're all in there. Yeah.
Okay. And there's a box of electronic stuff. Basically, I had everything related to this desk.
Got it.
And so that'll go with it. So it's even longer than this. That bit is the extender on the side.
Okay. And then you were talking about this over here. I just wanted James to, because I wasn't recording that.
Hi, James.
Hey. Yes.
So basically, this via DLs on there and there is all linked to the patch bay, and is still labelled. And so you can basically hot swap anything you want, and also with any connection, because the way they did it is rather than have closed off XLRs or panels or just dedicated cables going to the gear that was here, they left it all open, and they've just made a load of like instantly hot swappable XLRs and balanced and unbalanced jacks to go to whatever you want. So you would literally plumb the DL in, put your hardware in, follow where, for instance, 480L comes out, and you're in. It's all kind of labelled, and I mean they they did tell me it was pretty much as plug and play as you could get if you bought this with it.
Gotcha.
So, which is why I did, because I thought, well,
yeah,
that's a huge amount of money. Getting a patch bay, a fully functioning patch bay.
And time saving as well, because the time you have to spend to create that, And
then also, if James is on,
yep.
So basically that's a dual AMEC, I think it's 24 channel mixing desk, which is powered by 2 external power supplies over there.
Yep.
So that feeds these headphone amps, all of which have a Gretsch stand, and all the cabling for these is included. And as you can see, this one's got a Phil for Phil Collins, and Tony and Mike, and they've all still got the stickers of the ones that they use. So what am I trying to say? So yeah, and apparently because these were before anyone made these boxes.
Right.
These are the first. So the spec of these is way higher than anything you could possibly imagine.
We use little Behringer units, right?
But these are hand wired.
Wow.
This is about as good as it gets as far as and it's an AMEC console. So
yeah.
So you've basically got a 24 channel AMEC included in, and it's on the patch base. So you literally go from the insert to you send to whatever channel of the AMEC you want to go to, and that's it. And
gotcha.
Again, it was all in use. The key thing is that everything was being used right up until
you got it.
Yeah. So which is
what was the tech's name? Declan? Did you say?
Declan.
Declan is the tech. Yeah.
But I've got his number. So.
Fantastic.
But if you.
And about half the channels are black EQ, half are brown.
Yeah.
And we got the 2 Master Maceless ones that we talked about.
I don't know what number they channels and numbers. I don't know which numbers they are, but never even made it out of the bubble wrap.
Did they give you any? I'm sure there's a lot that's already public knowledge, but did they give you any provenance as far as like what specifically was recorded on this, or?
It's all online.
Yeah.
There are interviews about it as well. So
it was the Genesis stuff too, but there's other
Mike
major.
Rutherford, The Cure.
Okay.
I think all of the Genesis projects.
Yeah.
But it was a private studio, so
right.
It wasn't
a commercial thing that anyone could just come and hire it out.
But it was like, I think they were mates with The Cure, so they did an album there. I think the Friday I'm in Love was done on that desk.
Okay.
Living Years, Mike Rutherford.
Okay.
All of the Genesis stuff from '84 onwards.
Wow.
And solo projects. All of
Phil Collins. So like the Tarzan stuff was done on this?
Yeah, I would have thought so. Yeah. Absolutely everything he did. So Tarzan. Most people don't go for that. But,
no, I worked at Blockbuster.
But that song was actually Something Happened on the Way to Heaven. Like, from But Seriously.
Yeah.
Like that's it's all done on this.
That's wild.
And the good thing is, I would have thought because no one else came in to use the studio, that I would say Phil Collins' presets are probably all still in there.
Yeah, probably right. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. No, I don't want to sell it. I have to.
That's a memory cartridge, isn't that? I think that's what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think ours had that. The last one.
Yeah, that's got all of the sounds on it. All the ribbons are there, and all the ribbons were replaced fairly recently.
Okay.
There's just stuff everywhere. I mean, there's just mountains and mountains of stuff. But essentially, I mean, the main thing to know is that it was really well maintained. Everything's been done to it. The routing system was replaced.
Recapped. Routing done. Yeah.
Bypass the VCAs if you want to just go straight out of Pro Tools. If you just want to get enough digital to analog converters just to run it as a mix engine. You can just do that straight away, So,
right on.
Which would have been my first port of call, I think.
Okay.
Basically, get it up and running, use it as summing before I'd get into automation, and then my plan was do that, and then after I bought a power supply, and then basically save up for a Tangerine automation.
Yeah.
So that I can run it a bit more effectively in the box for recall purposes, but it all works. If you wanted it to work, it does work. And it's just an absolute beast.
It is.
Shame you can't see it with all the channels in it, because when the channels
that's all right.
it looks like...
Yeah, it looks. I mean, we we did the same thing with ours. So
when you talk about cutting it down, I mean, I'm
not sure
pay
how.
no attention to me on this because that's James will know far more. But
Yeah.
where you would do it, you would take this end bit off. I think,
Okay.
because if you look at the way the wiring ends, so
Yeah.
really the desk ends here.
Gotcha.
And this was added onto it.
Okay.
You know, to house the AMIC thing, and obviously you've got the patch pan on the other side, but there's no way you would cut that down on that side. No way. But
We'll have to see.
you
Yeah.
have to knock a wall down.
It's all concrete.
Think around it.
We'll figure something out. We'll have to come up with
It
something.
has a middle leg, but it
Oh,
was,
yeah.
it was never installed.
Really?
Because they didn't need it. Yeah. So, but it's there.
Okay.
All the manuals, all of the service manuals, all the schematics, everything, every bit of documentation.
I see there's a lot down there, yeah.
I mean, that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's stuff everywhere.
Oh, God, I see it. Yeah.
There's a whole box full of manuals down there. Computer.
Yeah.
Also, there's a power thing there, which I actually bought a power conditioner with this, but it was too heavy. I couldn't actually get it out.
Yeah.
I would need an engine block mount thing to get it out.
Oh, geez.
But I couldn't get it out, so I'm going to go and get it at some point. But there's every chance I probably won't.
Yeah.
Because it's a bit old school. You don't need to, you know.
Is that a keyboard they used for the what is that for?
That would be for the automation, I think. Oh, I'm not really sure. Oh yeah, that would just be a standard keyboard for
Yeah, okay, has some weird mount on it. Master remote, it says. Fader status, says.
Yeah, that'd be for the automation. I thought.
Okay.
Actually put a wood block for it to go on top of.
Oh, like that or something like that, yeah.
In between bits like that, probably.
Yeah. Okay.
Or maybe
something like that.
Faders.
Yeah. Huh.
I don't know. That's
Okay.
Probably a bit old school these days. You know, it's a. If you look at this a different way, this desk, I think
it's a relic, but it's
in a modern
way,
because of Pro Tools and automation. I mean, I think the only problem is that you're hitting the compressor if you use the compressors a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're riding levels into the compressor and using automation from a computer into this, that's the only downfall. But you know, the VCAs work. So if you wanted to get the computer up and running, and you're running all the drums to the 8 VCAs, then you're laughing, aren't you?
There we go. All right, man. Well, that is one hell of a tour of the Genesis SSL desk. That is awesome.
There's probably stuff I've forgotten. Probably loads of stuff I've forgotten. And so, with the outboard, shall I tell you about the outboard?
Yeah.
Right, so I'll just,
as well,
as I see it. So these are two white EQs. These are really rare. These were on the output of signals going to.
Oh, look at those.
They're big speakers. So basically, like before room correction and all that shite.
Yeah.
You would EQ your speakers so that so that you know if you're getting like too much bottom end, or you know, basically you can. So I bought these for this room actually because I wanted to have rather than use my room correction software, which I don't trust that much.
We use that. What's the one that we use?
Yeah,
Sonarworks.
Yeah, I use that as well. I mean, don't get me wrong, it is a lifesaver, especially when you're working in a fucking stable. You know, Bethlehem Studios over here. But this is that, you know, these are really hard to find because they were the industry standard for fucking years. Okay, you know,
so this was a manual way of handling that.
Mainly, you basically put these on your big speakers.
Yeah.
Because your front monitors are going to sound different, to behave differently in the room to your soffit mounted big ones.
Yeah.
So they don't blow your head off with bottom end or whatever. Or, I don't know.
Yeah.
And the good thing is to stop
someone from bumping into it or changing your setting. Yeah, that's brilliant.
It's a great idea, isn't it?
Secured.
Yeah.
Because you basically set it and forget it. You said like
I think James would like that on all of his outboard gear.
So they set it. They set that, and then 20 years later, I think it got opened again. So,
That's pretty wild.
so there you go. I'm chucking in 192s if you're going for the lot, because there are so many channels. You might need as many outputs as you can get to get enough stuff going there. But these are the power supplies for the AMEC down there. Sorry. This is the actually no. I think these are for the old. These they just chuck those in. So that's got nothing to do with anything here.
I see. That's it, AMEC series, but
because they used to have an AMEC desk before they bought this.
Gotcha.
So these are the actual power supplies for that.
Okay.
There's a fuck knows what that is.
Changeover unit CF663.
2 power supplies there. Whatever that is, will be going with the desk. I don't think it's needed. I think that's
G plus computer.
Computers, don't know what that is. All these racks will go with it. And then, so in here, so I mean, I'm basically getting rid of everything apart from the absolute bare bones. So I'm getting rid of, the only thing I'm keeping is this.
Your Chandler, yeah.
So let me talk you through this. So these 456s negate the need, in my opinion, for a tape machine.
Okay.
I was turned onto these by Manor Street Preacher's producer.
Okay.
And he just swore by them. And, you know, we've all tried kind of like tape plugins and stuff, and
Yeah.
variable degrees of success, but nothing really, there's nothing I would ever put on the front end recording into Pro Tools, because I don't trust it and I can never quite get it to go right. These things, you know, are amazing. I've had them on the last album, on the mix bus, and on every single thing I've recorded.
Got it.
The album before, I only had 2, so they had as many as I could get on, but on this one it's on everything. So, best in the world for guitars, I'd say. The fine gain thing on this is the difference between these, and you might think, oh, I've got some TG2s or whatever, but it's this coarse gain thing, which is, it's got like a drive to it that I can't really describe it really. But it's just,
but it's different.
It just opens up. It just, I don't know. It just makes guitar sound amazing. Yep, standard 550As. We know about these. Now this is where it gets interesting. So these, they look like these 312As, but they're not. These are the original first boxes that Brent Averill made. So the first things that I guess the company known as BAE.
Oh, I never knew it was Brent Averill Enterprises.
Yeah.
I feel dumb now.
So anyway, so these things are basically, they're not.
How old are they?
I don't know. They might be 20 years old.
Gotcha.
So they're really sought after, and if you AB them, so these sound amazing, right? So
Okay.
these are like the best API style,
Mike Preece,
crunchy, you know, rock and roll preamps you could possibly ever get. These are a different beast. They're the deepest, most detailed but characterful things I've ever heard. So historically, I always went for kick, snare, and anything else that needed like bottom ends, and also bass. Every single bass I've recorded in the last 10 years has gone through that.
Gotcha.
Like literally just that. So
Straight in.
yeah, they're different. You can read up about them anyway, but
Yeah.
if you go onto the mega geeky forums, you'll see people raving about those.
Got it.
And those, but they're different things.
Got it.
That's is what it is.
Yeah.
Really great. I forgot about the actual 500 racks. They're going to go as well. So, so what else is interesting here? I'm keeping this, and this, and the power thing. So up here, probably not going to need these. I would have thought.
No. I think we're good on those.
Yeah. And then, as I say, like the API 312As, just awesome for drums. This is an awesome compressor. The C1LA, I think they retail for about 1,200-1,300 quid. Worth every penny. They're just really.
Did we get a rack mount one from you? Was that a different one?
That was a C2. So,
okay.
So the C1 and the C2 are quite different compressors. So the C1 is generally regarded as being slightly less aggressive, a bit
Okay.
more open, like musical sounding, bit warmer, I guess. And this one has just got every different kind of variable you could ever want on it. Like it's very you can really tweak where the high pass filter is. So for instance, if you're doing something with huge amount of bottom end like dance music or whatever, you go all out and you would just you'd basically high pass from it goes up to, if you link them, it's 205 hertz. But if you only want to just take out the very bottom, you've got one at 65, or if you wanted 120. So normally when you get a high pass filter on a bus compressor or any compressor, you maybe get like one option. It's like normally 250, but
Gotcha.
you can dial it in.
It's more versatile. Yeah.
It's really, really precise and great sounding. I ended up using that over the C2 in the end.
Gotcha.
Which is why I kept it when I sold the last lot and stuff. So, and then these, right? So these Cartex are basically Pultex.
Yeah.
Don't be fooled by this. I bought these thinking they were Cartex, right? They're not.
Okay.
So these are basically replicas.
Gotcha.
Made in Germany. And for how he's got hold of them, but he got hold of
Get the
two
face
Cartex.
plates. Yeah.
So when I brought them over here, they turned up on eBay. I was like, fuck, these things sound great, really great, and really happy. But the case was like fucking shoddy as fuck. Like there's like screws hanging out. And
Yeah.
like, what is going on? And so I opened them up and had a proper look, and realised straight away that they weren't Cartex. They were really, really well made replicas.
Yeah,
You know,
clones.
yeah, which is what basically a Cartec is anyway. You know.
It's right. It's a clone of a Pultec.
Yeah. So
Clone of clone.
So, but this, and then when I went back to complain on eBay, I actually looked and it was all in German.
Oh,
And I was like,
no.
Yeah, he probably did say it was. You know.
Yeah.
So anyway, but I sent them to Studio Care because I liked them so much.
Yeah.
But I was a bit worried that they'd been built properly, and when I put them on the stereo bus, it sounded amazing, but slightly out of phase.
Right.
And I thought, oh, fuck. So I sent them to Studio Care, and they replaced two of the pre-valves, and tightened everything up and replaced everything that needed replacing, serviced them properly, and they came back really chunky and sounding amazing. So you know, they're not. I'm not asking for mega money for those because it is what it is. But I paid $3,000 for them.
Gotcha.
I probably should have paid $2,000. I think, being honest. But I think they're really awesome. So.
Nice, man.
What else have I got? I think that's it. The 456 I've told you about.
Yep. Yeah, man.
And this, I am selling this, my J200.
Finally! Every single time I've been here.
I know, but here's the thing. So my brother can raffle it and make a load of money.
Yeah.
Because he's been selling his guitars through raffles. So
Yeah.
I would be interested in selling it, but it'd probably be for more than you would want to pay for.
We'll talk about that off camera. That's all right, man. Cool. Well, I think that is a tour. We've got all the good details, and thank you very much, Mr. Dan.
My pleasure.
All right.